So I ask you, are you aware of the spiritual laws and principles that are woven into the fabric of our world? But over the course of 2,000 years, somehow, the pure spiritual laws, they've turned into religion. Hello and welcome back to Jesus is Soul. My name is Shimon Klinger. I am so happy you're here. Please hit the like, subscribe, and hit the notification button. We are trying to bring this information to as many people as we can. Your participation really helps. If you would like to join a like-minded group of people discussing these topics, we have developed a Facebook group. The link for that is in the description box. Welcome. I am so glad you are here. This video, as well as the previous few videos, are building a foundation so that we can go through the Gospel of John verse by verse. But in order to be able to do that, we first need to build a foundation of understanding, and that's what this video is here for. So let's be frank and honest. While we are in this physical world, we are sort of trapped. We are trapped by the laws of science, right? If we, God forbid, walk off a cliff, we are going to descend to our peril. We're going to fall off and we will probably die. It doesn't make a difference what religion we are. It doesn't make a difference what God we pray to. Again, if we see a downed power line with live electricity, a live wire, and we are unaware of the scientific laws and principles of this earth, and we touch that particular live wire, it is at our peril. The scientific laws lock us into a certain type of behavior on this planet. We are simply not free to do everything that we may want to do. I may really want to fly, but the law of gravity governs that I am stuck on the ground, despite how much I may want to do that. In the same way that scientific laws and principles are embedded into the fabric of this world and this life that we live, so too are spiritual laws and principles embedded into our world, despite whether or not we are aware of them. The wisdom of Kabbalah addresses spirituality in this way. It informs us of the spiritual laws and principles that govern our world, and then provides tools for us to be able to live accordingly to those particular laws and principles. Now you might be asking yourself, well, what does this provide me? What does this do for me? I have a little story for you, something for you to consider. I don't know if you are a basketball fan, but let's imagine the 10 greatest basketball players that have ever played the game. We're talking about Jordan, we're talking about Shaq, LeBron, Kareem, all of them. We take the 10 greatest basketball players that have ever played in history. We put them on a basketball court and we give them a basketball. They divide up into two teams, 5 players on one side, 5 players on the other side. I mean, can you imagine what kind of game that would be? And then what we do is we take a wand and in front of each of their eyes, kind of like Men in Black, we erase all of their memory of what the rules of basketball are. And we then throw them a ball and say, all right, go to it. Let's see what you can do. What kind of game would that be? If all of these all-time greats had no idea what the rules of basketball were, what would the game look like? Without a knowledge of the rules of the game, it would be chaos. I mean, it would probably be the most boring game ever. Without knowing the spiritual laws and principles of this world that are embedded in our lives, we live lives that are similar to the game that those basketball greats would play. How would we be able to live the fullest life possible without knowing the spiritual laws that govern our lives? So I ask you, are you aware of the spiritual laws and principles that are woven into the fabric of our world? Because these spiritual principles is what the church was founded on. But over the course of 2,000 years, somehow, The pure spiritual laws have turned into tradition. They've turned into religion. And this ultimately is the focus of this video. We have spirituality, and then we have religion. But let's not mince our words. Let's, in fact, look at the foremost Kabbalist of our generation, Rav Berg, as he talks about the dangers of getting caught in religion.
And as I was taught by my teacher, who was taught by his teacher, if religion is compulsory because of tradition, then it ultimately must disappear. But Satan has his ways on how he turns everything into a religion. But were we aware that there is no religion, that every aspect of what is written in the Torah and every aspect that is written in the 6 days of creation were there for only one singular purpose, not so that we have accepted a religion. There is no religion. There is no religion. Whatever we do here at the center, while it does appear to be religious, it appears to be following the norms of religion, but we are transforming it into another kind of energy.
When the Rav says that religion doesn't exist, he is looking at religion from an eternal standpoint. When we act according to the laws and principles of spirituality, we are, in essence, making eternal decisions, decisions that will affect our eternal lives. And yet, when we simply blindly follow the tradition of religion, when we simply do things because we are supposed to do them, when we are going to church and we have no idea why we're even going to church, or doing any of the various different traditions of the church simply because they are an expression of that religion, they have no eternal consequence. And this ultimately is what separates spirituality, which is aligning ourselves with the spiritual system that is embedded in our life, versus religion, which is simply blindly following the traditions as determined by the outer structure of the church. If this has piqued your interest and you want to know what those spiritual laws and principles are, stay tuned, because we will look at the Gospel of John and begin to unearth what those spiritual principles are as described by the book of John. However, if you would like to get a head start on discovering the spiritual laws and principles as described by Kabbalah, and as we learned, these are the exact same laws described by the Gospel of John, I invite you to take a look at some of the links in below. There are Kabbalah courses that will give you an introduction to what the spiritual principles are and give you an amazing way to begin to implement them in your life. And you will find, as I did, that as soon as you do that, that life becomes a little bit better. I appreciate your presence. Thank you very much. I love you all. Please hit the like, subscribe, notification button. See you guys in coming videos. Have a great, amazing day.